Drum and Bugle Corps is a world-class professional marching band out of Tempe, Arizona. Today's episode is a group interview with some of these impressive and talented young musicians as they sat out on the field after they finished up a 10-hour practice on a hot July day. Stay tuned for their stories of learning, self-discipline, overcoming, and motivation. I love talking with these kids because these young adults chose to be involved in a tremendously demanding program that requires strict discipline, and they chose this course rather than a summer of video games, strolling the malls, and Snapchatting aimlessly with their friends. It's a choice to create a story of excellence, family-like bonds through the hours of working in synchronicity with one another, and living on the road, sleeping on gym floors, and bringing their all on the competition field. Stay tuned for my interview with this great group of kids. Stories are our lives in language. Welcome to the Love Your Story podcast. I'm Lori Lee, and I'm excited for our future together of telling stories, evaluating our own stories, and lifting ourselves and others to greater places because of our control over our stories. This podcast is about empowerment and giving you, the listener, ideas to work with in making your stories work for you. Story power serves you best when you know how to use it. In 2001, the Academy Brass and Percussion Ensemble was formed to give some of Arizona's finest young musicians an introduction to the incredibly unique activity of Drum and Bugle Corps. They started out with a membership of 50 to 60 musicians. In 2004, the group added the final element of the color guard, was accepted as a DCI-sanctioned unit, made the name change to the Academy Drum and Bugle Corps, and began competing for the first time. In 2006, the Corps had grown to 135 members and competed for the first time in Drum Corps International World Championships in Madison, Wisconsin, where they earned the title of Division II World Champion. 2007 marked their year competing in Division I, now called World Class, where they continue to compete today. In 2009, the Academy was named the official Drum and Bugle Corps of the city of Tempe. And in 2016, that marked a historic season for the Corps with the first appearance in world-class finals competition. The Corps is now in the middle of another stellar season in 2018, touring and competing. They're right in the middle of that. Today, I get to interview a group of these musicians as they finished up their final practice for the day. They have some tremendous stories of life on the road. I'm going to turn the time right over to their primary drum major, and we're going to start with who they are and what they do.
All right. Hi, my name is Sierra Rogers, and I'm the head drum major for the Academy Drum and Bugle Corps. We're based out of Tempe, Arizona, and we've been operating since about 2001. I know that. Yeah, and so basically what we are is we call ourselves like a professional marching band. We spend around 10 hours a day rehearsing from Memorial Day weekend until August 12th. And we work on a 10-minute field show and sort of learn how to perfect the music, the visuals, everything about that, and sort of learn how to be better performers through our entire summer experience.
So the reason I've come across these guys is because they're in a practice field that's just below my house. So for the last 2 days, I've been hearing this great music, and I was in the drum corps in marching band and competition in high school. And so I totally have an appreciation for it. And it was really cool. And I'd hear the drum line and be like, where is that? What's going on? So we're down here and watching them, and they have a really cool show. And so tell me, how many competitions do you guys do?
During a summer, we go to about 24, 25 competitions all across the country. We started in Arizona and we went up the Pacific Northwest. We're going down to Texas right now and then back up, and we end in Indianapolis.
So you've been doing this for 7 years, and this is your second year as the drum major, correct?
Yes.
Why?
why did I start? Why did I keep going?
As I understand, this is like cost you guys what, $3,500 a summer, and it's a full-on band. How many members?
154.
154 members. These guys are sleeping on school auditorium floors. They are doing this in the hot sun. I mean, these guys are half naked walking around. They're in the sun like 10 hours a day. There's no joke. It's 100 degrees today. And they have a cafeteria truck. Somebody said you guys are eating like 6,000 calories a day. Is that real?
Probably.
And still losing like 10 to 15 pounds a summer?
At least, yeah.
Right? So you are working hard. I have to guess you just have a love for music, a love for the opportunity. Tell me why. Why are you doing it?
So I started when I was really young. My first season, I was 14 when I marched. And I really wanted to do it because I wanted to sort of prove myself. I wanted to prove that I could be strong enough, that I could be a good enough musician, a good enough marcher. I wanted to prove that a girl could be on the contra line and still kick ass, honestly. And then I kept going because the people in it are just so amazing. Like, I've made so many friends here. Claudia has been around since my second year, JM since my third, and it's just... There's so many friends that I wouldn't have made anywhere else that means so much to me now.
So, Claudia, why do you do it?
Well, I mean, Sierra and I went to high school together, and she kind of did it her first year and was like, this is really fun. You should do it, too. And my mom was also in drum corps when she was 16, 17, 18, 19, and never really got the experience of going to finals, going to all of these amazing experiences that I've gotten to go to so far. And she got so excited when she, found out that I would maybe get to perform in a drum corps. And so... my first year was really all about personal growth. I was basically not in two parts of the show for a while, and then all of a sudden one of the girls that had been here for 3 years decided 9 days before finals to go home. And so I was put into the entire show in 4 days, had to perform at prelims and semis, and then my season was over.
How did that feel to get in last minute?
It felt good. We were trying to get me in anyway, but after she left, it was just it was really, really rushed. It was really kind of invigorating, actually, learning entire parts of a show in one day and having to perform it that night at Ensemble was really cool.
So you've been here for 5 years with this same band.
Year, yeah.
Sixth year. And what about you?
This is my 5th year.
Why do you do it? And what's your name?
My name is Jose Martin Jimenez. I'm 21
and what do
years.
you play?
I play trumpet. I'm in the horn line, and I'm the horn sergeant this year, and also one of the trumpet section leaders. And the reason why I really started to do it is, well, I don't know. I was in high school marching band for all 4 years, and I wanted an opportunity. My junior year, I wanted an opportunity outside of high school marching band, and I watched a drum corps show on YouTube because my band director was showing it in our class, and that's what really got me into it. And I said, you know what, I'm really going to do that when I go to college, because I thought it was a college thing. And my band director told me, yeah, you can do it right now. And I said, okay. So I went to my first audition camp when I was 16 in 2014.
How scary was that?
It was terrifying.
Was the competition intense?
Yeah, it was. And it was all these people around me were just, I felt, were so much better than me, and I was terrified my first audition camp.
I'm so sorry, but he had this. Okay.
No.
Okay.
I know what she's gonna say. I know what she's gonna say.
Okay, so the Jose Martin that you know now is not the Jose Martin that showed up to auditions his first year, because the one that you see now is a very put together person who is a soloist and is very, very much a great member of a drum corps. And when he showed up to his auditions, he showed up in his Converse, his jeans, and his hair past his eyes. I remember this distinctly. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the main things that we all often face is the fear of failure or the fear of rejection or overcoming self-doubt, right? I mean, that's just something that everybody has to figure out how to do. So how did you get to that place where you were like, I'm just going to do it anyway, even though I'm scared, I'm going to get over that fear of not matching up?
Yeah, it was actually very difficult to get to that point. My first year, I was very excited, and I said, yeah, I'm just doing band, and my first year was just all about integrating myself within the organization and within the activity. And then years past that, it just took a very personal turn, and every single year I just really had the goal to better myself as a person, not just as a musician. And I didn't realize how important I knew how important this organization was to me and how important this activity was to me, but it wasn't until last year where I had to leave early in the season because I broke my ankle. And I didn't realize how important this organization was to me and how much this organization meant to me until I was out and just watching from a phone screen.
You don't know what you got till it's gone.
Yeah, exactly that. And I'm back this year.
Awesome. So that means you're almost 21. You guys age out at 21, right?
I am 21.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me about who are you and what do you play and what's your scariest, most interesting story in regard to your time with the band?
Oh, okay. I am Sarah Williams. I'm in the color guard here. This is my 4th year. My scariest story. So in 2016, right before the season, I fell and broke bones in my face. So I came in to the season.
Here? You did that here?
Well, no, I didn't do that here. It was an accident where I was living at the time. I was skateboarding and I fell and it was stupid. But
a skateboarder color guard.
Yeah. So I had to have surgery to reconstruct the bones that I had broken because it was so bad. A month before I came on tour, and then I wasn't supposed to be spinning. But I was spinning on the sideline because here, like, a day in drum corps is like 3 days in normal time because so much happens in a day. And I was supposed to be sitting out for 2 weeks, another 2 weeks after my surgery, but I just couldn't. I was too eager to get in and be good. So I was spinning on the sideline instead of doing drill, and I hit myself in the nose and broke my nose.
Wow!
With my rifle. So that was probably the scariest, like, moment, because I remember walking up to Sierra and being like, is my nose bleeding? And then she said no. And then I did another rep and then I touched my nose and it was bleeding. So I was like, I should probably go now.
How did the face surgery thing go? Like, was that traumatic?
Yeah, it was.
You're all bandaged?
Well, no, I was, it was really swollen and I still have some nerve damage going on there, but it is what it is.
You
now.
look great. I don't see any scars or anything.
Yeah. That's probably my scariest, like, thing that's ever happened to me, just because getting hit in the face now is traumatic, which happens often.
With
being
the
in
rifle?
color guard, with just spinning in general, especially in the wind outside.
So why do you do it?
I do it because I have fun. It helps me, like, I have gained a lot of self-confidence from color guard. Being in front of people is hard for me, and so doing this is a challenge, and getting through the summer is a challenge, so getting through the summer is also an accomplishment.
Absolutely. Anytime you're getting out of your comfort zone, you're creating new possibilities, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you're doing. You're pushing yourself to do that.
Yeah.
Nice. So what about you?
Oh, well.
Name, what you play.
I'm Natalie. I play mellophone. It's my 2nd year. I took a year off, so.
Cool.
Yeah.
And why do you do it?
So, like, I guess, well, JM, I was friends with a kid who auditioned the same year JM did. And I was playing clarinet at the time, and I was like, wow, drum corps is, like, super cool. Like, my high school marching band literally sucked. So I was like, oh, I could never be in a drum corps. And then I saw, like, the Denver show in 15, and I was like, screw it. And so my mom, like, I begged my mom, I was like, can we buy a mellophone? Because my school didn't have one. And so I was like,
so why did you want a mellophone?
So I was like, I'm going to be in a drum corps. I was like, I'm going to audition. I'm going to learn how to play horn. And so I bought a mellophone. I learned how to play in August. And then in December, I auditioned at Pacific Crest, actually. Shh. And I got cut from Pacific Crest. And then I auditioned at the Academy. And then I don't know what happened. Like, they gave me a spot. And then I was like, I guess I'm going on tour. Like, I hadn't even thought that far. And I was like, the first show that we did
was the first show I ever performed like on a mellophone, and I was so scared, and it was crazy. And then like I was like getting up to the like we were at the stadium on the field, and I was like, why am I doing this? I play clarinet. And so like we finished the show, and I didn't like make any huge mistakes or anything. It was okay, and I was like, wow.
Well, don't you have to be pretty good? I mean, I imagine that the caliber of people who try out for this are really good. I mean, you guys have great sound. Your drum corps is really tight. So you must have been okay on the mellophone if you made it.
I can march pretty okay. So, yeah, but I don't know. I do it. I took a year off because I thought I didn't really like it, because like I wasn't good enough at playing, or like musically I wasn't a good enough performer. And then I watched the 2017 finals like from the movie theaters because they play them, and I was like so sad to be on the wrong side of the like screen. And so I was like, okay, I gotta come back, because like all my friends are here, and like how detailed everything is. I love being like focused on the show and getting everything perfect.
You know, there's so much self-discipline in this. That's one of the things that I remember. We competed and we ended up going to nationals one of the years that I was there, but there was so much self-discipline, which I really liked, but it was hard, you know, but it was every morning and it was every night, and it was really, really strict. But there's something about it, and the camaraderie and the team aspect and the competition, right? I mean, it creates something that you can't reproduce anywhere else, I think, and it's really powerful. So tell me your name and why you do this and what you play.
My name is Jesse. This is my 4th year, and I play mellophone. And I guess I do this because I really enjoy doing music, and I really enjoy doing it with these people. I'm not a music major or anything. I'm actually an environmental science major, and I really like spending time in the outdoors. And so doing drum corps is a really good opportunity for me to just get out. And it's also a good way to like distract myself and to put in work to something that like I know that I can make perfect, that I can like strive for this perfection to be the best that I can be, and to put on the best show that I can.
Well, you know what I love is that you guys aren't sitting around playing video games or wasting your summer on, you know, social media. I mean, think of what you're doing with your time, because you have chosen to create this life for yourselves, or create this opportunity for yourselves. That's tremendous. Yay, leaders, upcoming leaders, right?
Yeah.
So what's one of your craziest stories or things you've experienced?
Okay, so I have a very similar story to Sarah's.
We're just breaking bones all over the place.
In 2016, I got my contract. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and so I prepared. And it was probably one of the hardest. Like I worked all for the before season, the preseason. So I was like really on top of my game. And then towards the end of April, so about 3 weeks before we were supposed to start our all-day rehearsals, me and my friends were like, hey, let's ditch school. So we ditched school and went mountain biking. And I took a nasty spill off. I went off the track, took a nasty spill, and landed and broke my jaw in 4 places. And
that's bad when you're playing a horn.
That's very bad when you're playing a horn. The first thing I did was I got up, biked the rest of the way down to the mountain, got in my car, drove to my mom works at a dentist's office, drove to the dentist's office, was like, okay, I think I broke my jaw. Like, no, you're fine, you're probably good. It took an x-ray. Jesse, stop talking, you broke your jaw. You can see it in 4 places. So I didn't even tell Mark Richardson, the corps director, I didn't even tell him until like a week before we were supposed to start all days, because I knew that if I told him, they might cut me. And I was so terrified of being cut because I messed up and I broke my jaw. And so
But how are you going to play with a broken jaw?
I'll get there. So I had surgery, had a bar put in place on my lower jaw with 4 screws, and my jaw was wired shut for 3 weeks. So for that entirety of the time, I didn't practice. The only thing I did was I did a little bit of visual practice, and I couldn't even do air through the horn because I couldn't move my mouth at all. And so going into that season was just this big like mystery. I had no idea what I was gonna do. So the entirety of all days, I got my jaw unwired, but I still had these like brackets almost. They're like braces, but they, instead of being on your teeth, they were in like my gums, like wired into my jaw. And so I would go, and I couldn't play yet because every time I would try to play, it would cut the inside of my lip, and I would end up just bleeding all over the place. So what I would do for the first probably 2.5 weeks was just blow air through the horn. And so I learned all the drill just on air. and one of the techs, Austin, bless his heart, like was kind enough to like help me out and I had to relearn how to play completely from scratch. And honestly, it made me a better player. So I'm kind of glad that happened because I'm way better than I was before I broke my jaw. But at the same time, it was insane. And like Sarah said, anytime I get hit anywhere near the face, I get super scared.
I love what you automatically did there, where you took something that was really disappointing and potentially tragic, right? And instead of sticking with that disappointment and tragic and, that really sucked, you found the silver lining and decide to focus on the meaning or the purpose that you get out of it, which was, hey, I am a better player because
I'm a better
went through
player
that.
and I can get through anytime a tour gets hard, I'm like, man, this sucks. But wait, I did this with a broken jaw. I can do this now. It's easy now.
But wait, it's not as bad as if my jaw was broken.
It could be worse. It always could be worse.
I interviewed a gal named Tabitha not too long ago, and she's a 21-year-old. Anyway, she's young, right? And she has cancer, and she beat it, and we were talking about her whole trip through that. But on the other side of it, she said, one of the greatest things I've learned is I've learned what hard is, right? Getting out of bed early isn't hard. Having to do homework isn't hard. There's way harder things, and when you go through something that's hard, it gives you great perspective, right? And you guys are doing something that is hard. It takes discipline, but it's building character in you guys that is tremendous. Anybody else have a story they want to share of their time here?
This is another injury story. Sorry,
Sounds like a dangerous
those.
sport.
Yeah. So for the first 5 years that I marched on Contra. Which
what is that?
For those of you who don't know, it's like a marching tuba. It weighs about 40 pounds. And I've never weighed more than like 130 pounds in my life. So it was really a struggle a lot of the times, and I had to get really, really strong to do it. But I found out in 2016, my 5th summer, that I had shattered one of the growth plates in my leg, and that I essentially didn't have any tissue or fluid left in my knee. And I found that out by not being completely falling out of a rehearsal, having to be dragged off the field, and just sitting there not knowing what to do for a good 2.5 hours. And that was in the first week of the season. There's about 10 weeks in a season. And so my summer was completely defined by that injury. And I spent every day sort of wondering if I was going to be able to walk at the end of that day, sort of thing. And if I would be able to take care of it the right way when I got home. And it really scared me. And it was especially scary for me because I was already in a leadership position. And so I was expected to still lead a horn line and lead a section and be okay and be good at what I was doing, but I couldn't even get out of bed some days. And I went up to the corps director right after it happened at the beginning of the season. I was like, if you want to send me home, I understand, but I really want to be here even if I can't really do much. And he was like, you're going to be here even if you only march the last show of the season. And that support meant so much to me, and being able to have the love and the support of the people around me during such a hard time was so amazing. And I ended up marching every single show except for one that summer.
That sounds like family. Do you guys feel a real sense of family here?
Absolutely. I don't know where else I could have been to experience that. And even though it was kind of terrible and most of my memories from that summer are not great, there's still a lot of people that I really love that really made that summer okay for me and made the next summer worth it to come back.
So tell me, in finishing up here, what do you guys have left? How many competitions and what does it look like? And the name of your band is The Academy?
Yes.
The Academy Drum and Bugle Corps. And do you have social media, hashtags, stuff like that where people can follow you?
Yeah.
What are they?
Okay, so we actually have a lot. We have a Facebook page, we have a website, and we have the website is www.arizonaacademy.org, and we also have an Instagram page. Wait, no, we don't. Never mind. Okay, we have section pages though. we have. Okay, cool. Yeah, we have section pages though. So we have a trumpet page, a euphonium page, a tuba page, an Academy mellophone page. So you can follow either of those.
How do they find them? Is it on Facebook?
It's on Instagram.
Okay, Instagram.
But Instagram, Facebook.
So if they just search those terms, they're going to find you?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So what's the rest of your season look like? You guys are in the middle of it right now, right?
Yeah.
So what cities do you compete in?
Well, on Saturday, we're actually going to be in Denver, Colorado. We're going to be performing at Mile High Stadium, the Denver Broncos Stadium. And the Saturday after that, we're going to be in San Antonio. And then after that, we're going to be in Atlanta and then Allentown, Pennsylvania. And then after that, we have finals week where we perform in Indianapolis at Lucas Oil Stadium, Indianapolis Colts Stadium, where we have our prelims, our semifinals, and then our finals.
So when does the end of the season hit?
Finals day is August 11th. Yeah.
Okay, that's like a month from now.
Yeah, it's
less than
kinda,
a month. You guys have a
crazy.
lot going on.
Yeah. We've been doing this since Memorial Day.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Parting words of advice or thoughts about this grand adventure you're on?
For anybody that's looking to be a part of the drum corps activity, I definitely just say go for it. Don't be scared. Don't be afraid. Don't tell yourself, I'm not good enough. I can't go out there and do it. Just go out there and put yourself out there. Put your name out there, because more than likely you may get a spot.
Well,
somewhere.
And you never make it at all if you don't try, right?
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, just take it. And once you get on tour, the most important thing is to just take it a day at a time. Don't think too far ahead, and don't think about the past too much either. Basically, a lot of what we do in rehearsal is, mistakes happen, but the most mature drum corps, and I believe that we are one of those mature drum corps, we put those mistakes aside and we don't let them define what our group is. So we continue to pursue that common goal of being the best organization that we've ever seen before.
Which I'm sure all of that you're learning on an organizational level is something you're also learning how to take into your own personal lives.
Yes,
right?
Yes, absolutely. When I was personally, when I came into this activity, I was kind of a mess. I was
with that long hair over your eyes.
And I've throughout my personal life, I've had a lot of struggles. I've had a lot of just mental and emotional struggles. But throughout these years going through drum corps, I've really learned how to hone in and cope with those things. And in turn, it's helped me become more productive in my personal life and in drum corps. So I have a lot to thank. I have a lot of people to thank for that, and I have a lot of gratitude towards this organization and the people that are involved in it.
Well, and good for you for seeking it out, right? Seeking out ways of healing and achieving and.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay, who else has parting words of wisdom for the listeners? Back to Claudia.
I would just have to say, you never know what other people are going to see in you. Like my first year, I was, again, a mess. It seems to be a common thing that everyone was kind of a mess their first year, but staff saw something in me that made them want to give me a spot, and they thought that I would be a good member, and I had no idea what that was. But at the end of the season, was I better? Yeah. Did I feel like I fit into the team? Absolutely. Did I find my home? Yeah, of course I did. Like, I wouldn't be here if I didn't.
So what do you do, because you've been given that kind of support, to support the people around you?
I've been here a long time, and I'm very glad that I was here. I auditioned other places, and I really just didn't find any of the connection anywhere else that I found here. I'm here to basically make this corps, make this color guard a place that other people would want to be. Like, if I didn't leave it better than I found it, then why am I here at all?
So how do you do that?
you just have to keep coming back. Like, the only reason that this corps is where it is today is because like people like me kept coming back. Sarah came back, Sierra Rogers came back, Jose Martin came back, and the only reason that people respect us now is because of all the effort that we put in the past.
Well, good luck to all of you. Thank you for taking the time to share your stories.
Thank you. That was awesome. Thank you.
For more information on the Academy Drum and Bugle Corps, go to arizonaacademy.org. You can see their schedule, you can get applications, you can see tryouts. There's all kinds of information there about this group. And in closing, I just kind of want to point out the last few things, that the pieces of advice they gave us toward the end. First of all, try out, get in the game. Second, stay in the present. Don't focus too much on the future or on the past. Stay right where you are. And third, be focused on that goal of excellence. Staying in the present, focusing on the goal of excellence, and then keep coming back. I thought that was great because those 4 keys apply to life in general, to anything that we're involved in. Get in the game, stay in the present, focus on the goal of excellence, and then keep coming back. Persistence. Words to live by. Thanks for tuning in for today's episode. I hope you found at least one takeaway that inspires you. Keep creating your best life story, and if there is some place that you've been holding back, maybe you've been afraid to try for something or join some group, well, get in the game. Remember, you don't make 100% of the things you don't try for. We have our website, loveyourstorypodcast.com, for access to all 100 plus episodes. They're all there on the site. You can scroll through them, choose the ones or the one for the day that you feel like you need a little support or inspiration on. You've got all the cover photos, the titles, a little blurb so you know what it's about. Go back and access all of those. Get a little inspiration and empowerment for living your best life story. You can also sign up for the 21-day Life Connection Challenge on the website. Life stands for living intentionally and fearless every day. Join us for the next group challenge. All you have to do is sign up and our group leader will get in touch with you and start creating new results in your life. We will see you next week on the Love Your Story podcast.